Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Let's Play of Pokemon Sleep. This is essentially a free-to-play account where I'm trying to do the best practices that I've learned from playing on my main account for well over a year. In this video specifically, we're going to have a main session, a nap session, and I'm also going to use a main skill seed on the Igglybuff that I recently found. And so if that sounds interesting to you, let's hop right into it. So my current strategy here now is to just get as much drowsy as possible in this week. I'm not doing any overstacking. Normally, I would use this Suicune to just fill up the inventory of the Alligator, the Croconaw, and the Totodile, and pile on top a whole bunch of stuff. And then on the Mondays, get a big boost and just have that as a thing. Unless there is some event coming up that I would like to just save up stuff for and pop on the Monday. Either way is fine, but this week is actually quite helpful for us in terms of the strength here. And so I am trying to just get as much power as possible to get as many sleep styles as possible, because I haven't been to Cyan Beach all that much before. This is actually the second week. And because of that, I essentially have a really good chance of actually utilizing this event. And the more sleep style goals I can complete, the better, because I unlock more areas. And I'm just going to camp at Cyan Beach until I have completed my collection goals. So if that is 4 months, I don't know. But all that extra area bonus, which you get once a week, it's either 5 or 10% depending on where you are in the game. All that's just going to be moved to all those other areas. So I don't even lose out of just hanging out at Cyan Beach and getting the Totodile, the Chikorita, the Mankey, Spheal. Those are my remaining targets because I actually found the Igglybuff in yesterday's video. You didn't see it. So let's see what we got in this one. Primeape, good candy. Caterpie, decent. Toxicroak, or Krogunk rather. Bellsprout. This could be a good target in case it's hungry, otherwise I'll pass for now. Yo, we got a Quaxwell. That's pretty good, new sleep style. We got a Squirtle and a Mankey. I'm pretty sure we worked on the Mankey in the other video, so that should be 1 biscuit or something to catch, if I'm not mistaken. And then we'll just have to see if that Caterpie is hungry. Otherwise, it's just going to be the Mankey in the main session. Although it's kind of funny to call it the main session because all the action is happening in the nap. Alright, let's see if any of these are hungry. I have a lot of biscuits, so if they're hungry, they can be fed. Alright, not a whole lot of Dream Shard bonus going on here, or the Research EXP. I got a huge boost from the Suicune event, this being a fairly recent account, and it's to the point now where I have 150,000 Dream Shards that I haven't spent, that I can't spend on the Pokemon that I care about. So, ridiculous. Anyway, no, I managed to catch the other Mankey. Anyway, Mankey is one of my main targets, and all my main targets, I just dump as many biscuits into as humanly possible. Like, I just fill them up until they're full, and if they don't want to be caught, then that's that. So, sometimes I'm lucky, I get the crits, and they just come with me right away. Other times, not as lucky, although this is a scenario where I'm a little bit worried because if I now spend 1 more biscuit and then it is full, if it then comes back hungry or I have to spend a bonus biscuit on it, I lose that biscuit. But every now and then we get these scenarios. There is no chance this is still hungry. No. Okay, well, case closed. Let's hop on over to the nap. The nap is where it's at because you can pretty much force the slumbering type more easily. I don't think this candy is going to matter much. Quaquaval, one of the best Pokemon in the game, no matter which player you are, it's just very solid. So I'm going to temporarily send that out to the friend list, and then we'll see if the nap is going to overwrite that candy send. Alright, let's hop on right into the nap. And so yeah, the naps are amazing because you can force the slumbering type, and at Cyan Beach, a lot of those early targets are slumbering. You have Igglybuff, Totodile, Spheal, and then in addition, for the other sleep types, you can hunt Chikorita during dozing. Mankey also is dozing. And then to an extent, you can consider Eevee and Rattata maybe during snoozing, but for now, I'm just gonna skip on both of those unless they're hungry. Oh yeah, Pichu too is a slumbering Pokemon. Now I do remember if Pichu is on Cyan Beach. I think it is. I could be wrong. I don't remember. Alright, Top Belly Caterpie. Another Caterpie. They like showing up, huh? Then you can see my slumbering nap session has 6 Pokemon. And the other one, that was the main session, had 7. So a lot of encounters. They may be weaker encounters in terms of candy, but the number of encounters give you more chances to catch some stuff you want. There's some Igglybuff and a Mime Jr., a Diglett. Actually, it seems like, unless that Pikachu is hungry, it seems like it's gonna be a partially fed Caterpie in this one, because I caught my Igglybuff the other day and I'm not gonna hunt anymore. And so it's off the target list, as crazy as that is, after less than 40 days in this game. Mr. Mime Jr. is hungry. I don't know. No, if I'm gonna go for something, I'm rather investing in the Bellsprout. It's more candy, has another evolution, has a better main skill. All else equal. And so, let's see. What is the best Pokemon to catch here? I think it is the Caterpie. It's a berry specialist. Not too fan of the Pikachu here, just because it's way expensive. Yeah, I think it is the Caterpie actually. Let's just give it a go. I've been lucky with the Caterpie, either being hungry or getting crit on it. So I'm not a huge fan of the Caterpie yet. We'll just have to see whatever happens with future skills and areas, because right now the Caterpie does not have a favorite area. At that point, I'd much prefer just funneling my biscuits into better Pokemon. Now this is the free-to-play. I know a lot of you have Wigglytuff. Now, I understand that some of you may have Gardevoir or Sylveon. If anything, you can just dump the Wigglytuff candy in the Cram-O-Matic. It's not a huge deal. Alright, so didn't catch anything, but that just gives us more time to check off another point that I presented at the beginning of this video, which is to give this little guy main skill seed. Although I think before we do, we kind of need to just cook to get some of this stuff out of the way. To an extent, I've just been hitting auto cook, but the best thing is probably just to go for this one and let the ingredients automatically draw, because I get a lot of bean sausage, and maybe if I can just get this one recipe to level 50 or 60, that can be a little funny, because then at the very least a good chunk of those ingredients do get a bonus every time I cook. So I don't really have a solid cooking strategy yet, not really in a rush to figure that out either. I may sit down and just narrow down my targets for a set of ingredient specialists. Let's say I can find between 3 and 5 Pokemon that basically decently cover all the 3 dish types. The problem though is that part of the game for me is so far into the future to where there's probably going to be some bigger meta shifts throughout the way towards that future, and that would not be good. So let's have a look at this Igglybuff. I think at this point in time it should have around 20 hours. No, 12. Oof. Oh, I counted the main session twice. Okay, well, it was found yesterday, so this makes sense. 12 hours and 11 minutes. And then I have decided that I'm just going to dump a seed into it already. And the candies that I need for it is 20 for the Jigglypuff and 80 for the Wigglytuff. And we already have a Moonstone. Now, another JP in the Discord after I misspelled the Wigglytuff Wigglytug, he suggested the Wigglytuff should be called Wigglythug, because it's gonna just jam that energy onto the rest of the team. So that's pretty funny, if you ask me. Now, I don't know. So here's where, up until this point in time, I think for the most part, most of you could follow along and just do more or less the same as me. Use the base Suicune, great. Alternatively, if you've started your free-to-play adventure, or just Pokemon Sleep in general, after one of these legendary events, I think there is an exception to where the Master Biscuit may be worth it, even for the free-to-play. So the Master Biscuit is 4,000 points. I can actually go into the shop here to explain. Let's see. There we go, Sleep Pass. And then we go into exchange points. And then we have the regular exchange and the Master Biscuit right here. So the Master Biscuits guarantee a catch. And if I had started over again and I didn't have a legendary on my team, I think what I would have done is to get to Cyan Beach as fast as possible still look for the Igglybuff, still look for the Totodile, but I would kind of think to just tuck aside around 4,000 sleep points in the off chance that you come across a Suicune. Because Suicune overall, S tier Pokemon in my opinion, it's super strong if you build a team around it. And even though the event is over, you just need one encounter if you have the Master Biscuit. So that is a very rare exception where spending 4,000 sleep points on a Master Biscuit can be worth it even for a free-to-play. Now, my strategy overall, if you haven't heard that before, is I put most of the diamonds so far into increasing my item bag, not the ingredients and not the Pokemon storage, the items bag. And then every month I clean out these Poke Biscuits, and in total they cost 4,500 sleep points. You get 3,000 points for sleeping every month. You get 100 sleep score across the board. And then you get 2,000 from the Good Sleep Day event. So that's 5,000 in total. So every month as a free-to-play, you get 30 biscuits if you want them. It's the best resource you can get your hands on, in my opinion, because the more biscuits you get, the more Pokemon you get, and the more Pokemon you have to use, the better your strategy is. And so, yeah, keep in mind this Master Biscuit strategy, because where I'm gonna do or go in this video here splits a lot of us. So I happen to find a really strong Igglybuff, and it's so strong in fact that I may be able to get away with using it as my main healer even ultra late game, so past Lapis Lakeside essentially. This is very strong. It saves me 2 seeds. Upon evolution, I get another 2 free seeds. And at that point, as of right now, I have main skill level 5 within reach without spending a single seed. And then I can spend 1 main skill seed to then just get to that level 6. Level 7 is probably around the corner. And so if you give me 2 seconds, I'll get back to this topic. I have to fix some logistics. Now, the Wigglytuff here indeed is so strong that once I get it to level 50, or even level 75, then it's gonna do a good job. If I can get it long term to maybe main skill level 8, that's gonna be fantastic. And the main skill seed spend on this one to get it to main skill level 8, if that happens in the future. Right now we've been promised at least level 7. It's just 3 main skill seeds. And on the free to play, that is very expensive. So for those of you who may find a skill level up Igglybuff that has at least 1 boost to its skill trigger rate, like just find 1. Either you have the skill level up M and the main skill chance up nature, or you have the skill level up M and the skill trigger M. Now you would want that like this. Don't care about the level 50 if you are looking for a short-term healer, because if you have the skill level up M and the skill trigger M, or the nature, then if you just evolve it from Igglybuff to Wigglytuff, main skill level 5 with at least one boosted skill is going to be perfectly fine until you can then go to Lapis Lakeside and look for Ralts. Overall, Ralts is a lot better than the Wigglytuff. It's just here I can basically found a strong one, so I can invest in it, I can use in it, I can get sleep hours on it, extra inventory, I can get it higher level. Overall, there's a lot of candy for Igglybuff, and otherwise that may not be used for anything but the Cramomatic, like I suggested for some of you. Although Ralts can always be evolved into Gallade if you really want to just have one of all the evolutionary lines. Although it's not impossible that ultra late game, like just end game basically, I'll get a Gardevoir. But for now, once I get this one to level 50, which is not too far away, it's going to be very strong. So I'm very comfortable here with spending a main skill seed. Now, there are 3 paths here. If you find a Wigglytuff contestant that is this strong, you may not even need to put a seed into it. And then the other thing is, if you then find just a subpar one that kind of works short term, you can go for the Gardevoir thing that we have discussed. So this video marks a path, like crossroads, just so that you're aware. I've tried to do this series as easy to follow along as possible, but just the nature of this game, it's a little bit chaotic in that sense, because we won't get the same Pokemon, the same rolls, the same luck and all that stuff, even if we narrow our targets very, very narrow. Like I have Totodile, Igglybuff, Spheal, Chikorita, Mankey, and Pichu as my targets. Nothing else. That's it. Although I have an off chance bonus biscuit here and there. Maybe it crits, or I have 2 hungry off chance things happen, and I may get some supplementary Pokemon. And so my whole point is, this is what makes Pokemon Sleep ridiculously fun. It is pure random, and the longer the save file goes out into the future, the harder it is to predict what the save file will actually look like. And as I get across 100 days, 200 days, a year, 2 years, maybe even 5 years, who knows how long this series is going to last, then it's just going to get ever more interesting and intricate with the details of this specific save file and all of your guys' save files too, which is why the nirtheart Discord is a great place to be. So we are looking to put some hours onto this Igglybuff. I don't know why the sound is doing that. Working on it. The 50 hours should come up closely and not too long. And so Jigglypuff is coming shortly, and then Wigglytuff. So sometime next week, early next week, I will have a main skill level 6 Wigglytuff. And then it will probably take me a while to get it to level 25. And then once I get there, I will hopefully also have a main skill seed. Sub skill seed to boost that helping speed S to helping speed M. I think it is the achievement called RP, if I remember from yesterday. Yeah, 17,000. Don't remember if there is another main skill seed that is, or sub skill seed again, I'm sorry. Master 20 is a ways away. Maybe I can do it sometime in the future here on Cyan Beach before Greengrass. That could be pretty fun. But yeah, I just need one sub-skill seed from somewhere. I don't think any of these have it. It's just those 2 that I listed. Dream Shards, we have enough of those. Oh, hang on. That was incense is used. Yeah, that's not going to happen free to play. 400 incense? Get out of here. I get 1 per week. Maybe. Okay. Yes, just a bunch of dream shards. Alright, no need to click through these too much more. But yeah, the team RP of 17,000 is kind of crazy. But the thing to consider here is, once I get the Wigglytuff. And once I get the Suicune to RP, or rather main skill level 7, I think this is going to get pretty close. So then we can also look at the level ups, because I will need the level ups to get the RP to get the subskill seed. Unless there somehow is an event coming up where there is a subskill seed available. And then that also brings me to just mention the fact that there is an event coming up. It's not next week, but it's the week after. Now, in the middle of next week, there is a new area unlocked. I don't have that unlocked. I'm nowhere near having that unlocked. So next week here on the free-to-play is just going to be perfectly normal. The week after that, I will consider to go to Greengrass Isle. I don't even know if I will. The determining factor there will be what these new Pokemon will really look like. Because if none of them really are going to be on my long-term list of targets, then I probably won't even bother to go and engage in that event, to be honest. We'll just have to see when we get the full details. At the very least, I may just spend those 2 weeks at Greengrass Isle to work on that area bonus. Although I can do that here too, which is the main area for me now. So it's going to be an interesting one to see what decision I eventually make when it comes to the free-to-play account. But it's not impossible that I'll just stay my own course and do the Cyan Beach. And it's also not impossible that I will start overstacking and not pop on the Mondays like I've been talking about, and hold off until Halloween. Halloween is roughly 4 weeks away, so maybe after next week, or maybe even during next week, I'll consider that. The only thing though is I can't really do the overstacking too hard yet, because I have none of my long-term Totodiles on the team. So that's something that's holding me back a little bit. But yeah, those are some final closing thoughts here. So if you enjoy these videos in the free-to-play series, make sure to give it a big old thumbs up here on the video. I very much appreciate that. Thank you very much for watching, and hope you enjoyed it. And I'll talk to you again in another video. See you soon.